We are live in Vers-sur-Mer this morning at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day commemorations. Theresa May has been speaking live from the monument this morning.
Thank you, President Macron, for your support to ensure a lasting monument to the service and sacrifice of those who fought in the Battle of Normandy, something which means so much to our veteran community and to the whole of the British nation. It is incredibly moving to be here today, looking out across beaches where one of the greatest battles for freedom this world has ever known took place. And it is truly humbling to do so with the men who were there that day. It is an honour for all of us to share this moment with you. Standing here as the waves wash quietly onto the shore below us, it's almost impossible to grasp the raw courage it must have taken that day to leap from landing craft and into the surf despite the fury of battle. No one could be certain what the 6th of June would bring. No one would know how this, the most ambitious, amphibious and airborne assault in all of human history, would turn out. And as the sun rose that morning, not one of the troops on the landing craft approaching these shores, not one of the pilots in the skies above, not one of the sailors at sea, knew whether they would still be alive when the sun set once again. If one day can be said to have determined the fate of generations to come, in France, in Britain, in Europe and the world, that day was the 6th of June, 1944. More than 156...
The words of the Prime Minister Theresa May at Vers-sur-Mer, which is where the ceremony is underway for the British Normandy Memorial. Now, our chief correspondent, Rich Gaisford, is in the town of Arromanches for us this morning. We've just been so moved, Rich, listening to the words, actually, of the politicians, to be fair, this morning as well. Such a significant moment for them, but particularly, of course, listening to the veterans, you know, men in their 90s talking with such emotion about what happened 75 years ago, recalling the sheer adrenaline of the landings, the horror that they saw, their feelings, their enduring feelings of loss as they saw their comrades fall to their deaths in front of them, some of them drowned by the weight of their own packs in deep waters as they got off those ships. I mean, it's been a living history lesson this morning, I think, for all of us, and a reminder of the sheer sacrifice that all of those people made 75 years ago.
Oh, it's an amazing, Susanna, to think of what was happening on this beach 75 years ago right now. The thousands of British troops coming up, trying to get to German positions all the way around the town of Arromanches. This is at the centre of what was known as Gold Beach. It was one of two sections of the Normandy coastline that the British forces were tasked with taking. And you can see this incredible collection of vintage vehicles that are parked up here on the beach this morning. Now, some of these historically shouldn't be here, but they add to the emotion. This vehicle, though, quite interestingly should. This is one of three trucks that would have been on the beach on that day towing anti-aircraft guns that were here to then keep the British forces safe as they made their way through. And if we make our way through, if we just come through the side of this vehicle here, you can see those famous Mulberry Harbour sections. Now, this was an innovation. They brought their own harbours with them. They floated them in, they sunk them in position and gave them a logistical base to be able to run this entire operation Operation Overlord. It was quite the most incredible thing. And what has added to the emotion here this morning, more than anything, has been a lone piper stood up on that section of Marbury Harbour playing his pipes at exactly the moment the first British soldier would have stepped onto the beach. That was at 6:26 this morning UK time. We stood here on the beach with thousands of other people. It was really quite something. The whole beach fell silent listening to Pipe Major Trevor Macy-Lilly. And once he'd finished playing the pipes, he came straight to us to tell us just what that meant to him.
Nerve-wracking, but very, very proud to do it on behalf of the veterans who are now, who's left here to celebrate.
So here on the beach today, all of these vehicles, thousands of people. The most important thing though, Susanna and Ben, as you've mentioned, are the veterans. And it has been a pure honour for us to be meeting and talking with those veterans here on the Normandy beaches, thinking about what they did and the sacrifice of those who didn't make it home.